What's going on, guys? I'm back in another video. This one's more of a documentation video than a tutorial or anything like that. This is me just upgrading my Minecraft server to a few new things that I wanted to do, and I thought I'd take the time and just post it so y'all could reference it if y'all ever needed to, or just curious how I do these things, whatever. It's just a archive of what I do, you know. So sit back, relax. This is kind of a long one, but not really. We're just going through some hardware and installing a new version of Ubuntu, because the previous install I had was Debian and it did not work out very well when I tried to update. We were using MineOS, and MineOS was not very friendly to us. I guess because it's probably pretty dated. I don't think it's being the projects keep being kept up. So we switched over to something called Crafty Controller, which you'll see the install for. Right now I am replacing that SATA drive. I think that was a 64 gigabyte SSD, and we are installing 500 NVMe drive, M.2. I want to say it was 500 gigs. This was a couple months ago, so I can't exactly remember what I installed in there. So this is just video me swapping it out. This is the little server that I designed for Minecraft. It's pretty simple. It's an AMD machine. The next thing I should do is probably upgrade the processor, because it has a little bit of a stress test when it turns on. It's a lot of work on that little chip. It's an older chip. I can't tell you what it is. I don't remember on the top of my head. It was before a Ryzen, I'll tell you that. It's an AM4 chipset, but it was before the Ryzen chips. It's only a dual core, something basic. But yeah, I found this chassis on Newegg and kind of just went from there. I just wanted to build a little tiny server, and we went from that. I'm trying to think. I think originally I made that server for a NAS. So I had two 10 terabyte hard drives on that side because it holds 3.5s, and I ended up getting a Synology, and so I'll repurpose that for Minecraft. This is me getting the installer set up for Ubuntu. So we're using Rufus. I got Ubuntu up there in the top left corner. I'm gonna go ahead and get that copied over onto a flash drive. And this is also sped up, so this does take a while. I chose Ubuntu just because it seemed like the most versatile for all these different Minecraft. I don't know if you want to call them engines or I really don't know what you want to call them. Console. Well, see, I see the server more as the console. I guess your web management is what I'll call it. I'm doing the initial install. Excuse me. When I was using Debian, it was cool and I liked it, but I was constantly running into errors where I couldn't get something to work right. And then once I did the update, MineOS just stopped working correctly, and there was no way to revert back. I tried to reinstall MineOS. It was not taking. I'm not sure what it was. Probably something on the kernel or whatever that it did not like anymore. So we went ahead and backed up the server, put it on my desktop, and swap the drives, and this is where I'm at. I think this is me debating if I wanted to have that secondary. I wanted as much storage as I possibly could. Going back, I wish I would have kept the secondary piece, just as if it were to crash, I had it to repair the disk. But at the time, I was worried about storage, so I just made it the most minimum install as possible. So that's what I was doing. I think we named it Crafty, or did we name it myself? I don't remember. Yeah, I signed up for Ubuntu Pro. It said it was free. I said, why not? Something else to mess with. Nope, we did not install that. I think I was debating installing it, but I know I did not. We installed the bare minimum of what I needed. Of course, I read through them all to be sure that I did not need any of them. And now we install. So right there it was telling me to unplug the flash drive and go ahead and reboot. All the files that needed to be transferred have been transferred. So pulled the flash drive. Now we're doing our first initial boot up of the OS. And this is running directly from the console. And now it's booted up, so we're gonna log in. Yeah, I think this is me trying to remember what I initially set it to. I ran through it so quickly. I was like, wait, what did I set it as? I can't remember the user. There we go. I got in. And there's our command prompt. I think I was trying to figure out how to set up root access. This is like my first time watching this since recording, so bear with me. I think I was trying to do SU root. Here's with a few hiccups that I ran across the way that I did not edit out. It's just me trying to figure out what I need to do. Because I knew this was a fresh install and I knew that it was like a bunch of other stuff I need to add it in. So I wanted root access from the get-go. But obviously, root password's not initially set up. You have to set that up. And it took me a minute to realize that. Yeah, there it is, SU root. Most of my experience has been from Ubuntu GUI, like, you know, like an actual computer. I mean, I know you do everything command line, but the little things I've always done directly from the desktop mode. So doing the server side was a little bit new to me. Of course, the commands are similar to Debian, but not quite the same. And that was probably my biggest issue with Debian, is I'd always get commands for Ubuntu, and it did not transfer to Debian very well, and I had to always had to change it up a little bit and figure out which way was the correct way to get it to go. It did not like me putting sudo on anything when I did Debian. Let's see what's going on right now. There it is. Sudo password for root. And now that I got root password changed, we should be switching over to root. Now I'm setting up the directory for the Crafty, as well as making sure we're all up to date. Install those 13 packages. Here we go, now we're cooking. Like I said, I had the bad, the ugly, and all the shenanigans in this video. So don't see this as a direct how-to. This is just for my documentation, and if you want to reference it. But as you see, I'm over here struggling a little bit. Okay, so I switched over to PuTTY, which means I got off the console, and I wanted to make sure that I had SSH access. So here I am trying to set that up because I manage everything through SSH. So I wanted to make sure step 1, SSH was working. And it worked. Now we're installing Crafty. So see Crafty Controller 4.0 Linux installer, and it's officially on there. Now it's just installing the needed packages and setting up all its file directory that it needs for the web server and everything else. I think one of the biggest issues I had was getting it to stay on, if I remember correctly. Of course, you know, you could set it up in systems to automatically launch, but I forgot what it was. It was something finicky. I had to create a file, I believe. I don't know if that is in this video or not. Okay, we're still in the install. Still adding its packages. Yeah, I believe I had an issue with that startup script at some point. I can't remember if that was on camera or off camera. Or I could be getting confused with my old system, honestly. I feel like it was the initial install. So when it says welcome to Crafty 4.3.1 server manager web portal, it is running. Let's see, we switched over. It is definitely running once you see that come through. Now this was a tricky piece. Figuring that part out was that password. It will hash a random password and you have to go through the file directory to find it. I know they have an article on their website about it, but I did do that one off screen because I really got stuck. I was not able to find a login at all because it doesn't have a default of like password or admin or 000. It doesn't have any of those defaults. It's a long hash of, I guess you could call it like an encryption key. And you have to go dig it. Okay, here we are in current day now. That last snippet, besides the voiceover, was probably like 3 or 4 months ago. This is current, so it's been running for about 4 months. Still some stuff I'm learning, but for the most part, I enjoy it. So if you had multiple servers, they would all list right here. Here's my Minecraft server. You can see this CPU usage, the memory usage, how much storage it's taken, how many people are online. You can even see the oh, I can't highlight it. What do they call it? The word of the day. I can't think of the thing it stands for. And then what you're running it on. And then if you want to list them, they'll be right there, where you can click on it. You got terminal. See everything going on the inside. Of course, you got logs, so you can filter through anything that goes through the terminal. You can set up scheduling. Got my scheduling for the restart every day at midnight. It's where you create your backups and paths and stuff like that. Here's file management, which is really helpful because the MineOS did not have that. However, I still like to use FileZilla to transfer files just because this is a little bit finicky. But if I want to edit something like right here and there, like the word of the day one, where is that? I'm not going to hold y'all up. We'll just click on one simple. So this one's part of Crafty, but it says this is managed by the Crafty Controller. Please leave it alone. But you can do anything text editor here. Like, oh, I guess that one's empty. See, here we go. So you can adjust stuff right here within the web portal. You don't have to actually download them, which is useful. You can upload right here. Whatever you need to do. So it is useful, but I still like to use FileZilla to transfer plugins and stuff like that, because it can still be kind of finicky on here. Here's your configuration side, how much memory to use, ports, all the good stuff. Auto start. Player management's a really nice tab that was definitely not in MineOS. You can see the people who have connected last since you restarted the server. You can kick, deop, ban, whatever, all right here. It keeps a log of all your bans. You can see the metrics if it loads. Come on. It's getting hung up. There it goes. So you can see how much usage is really going on based on players. So this is actually really useful if you're having system issues and you can't figure out what it is. You could see if it's because you have too many players online, like this sturmatic. I'm really bad at those kind of words. What's going on? So like, see, CPU jumped. That's probably right then when I just switched tabs. Actually, just kidding. That was a server restart earlier. One of these little things might have been when I switched tabs. Like I said, this thing gets hung up a little bit, and that's why I said the WebSocket. anytime I'm in the management or the server's starting up, it's using really high CPU. And I think that's just because I need to get a better CPU in this guy. It runs real smooth. That being said, it runs real smooth in the game with 4 to 5 people. I have not been able to test it with more than that with the current setup, but that's just part of the project. As I get more people and we get more popular or whatever, I'm going to upgrade more and more. We used to have a memory issue. Now I just have a CPU that jumps, and it doesn't last very long when it jumps, just a few seconds, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, you get details up here. You can set up a webhook. Oh, is my webhook gone? Good to know. I had a webhook set up, but it looks like it's not set up anymore. So look, server crashed. Name it. And I will need to add that here in a bit when I'm not on camera. Go ahead and, oh, it's not gonna let me. We had one, but I did have to reload the server from a backup like about a month ago. So I think that's when I lost it. No worries, we'll fix it. Then you can go straight to documentation. This goes to their website, which is very useful. They also have a Discord. So if you ever need help and reach out, you will get a response. Yeah, no, I like this a lot better than the MineOS. There's some things that I wish they had that MineOS had. Like it was a little bit easier changing like jar files for like bucket and stuff like that. Oh, come on, I did not mean to go back. I'm trying to think of the right verbiage to tell y'all. All right, let's go here real quick. I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, server executable. Changing these is a lot more difficult on here than it is on the MineOS. Changing this, I have not really messed with yet because I set it originally when I set it all up. But on MineOS, it was very simple. This, you have to put it in the exact terms. It doesn't convert automatically, which isn't a big deal. It's just me being picky. But those are 2 things I wanted to point out. Okay, what I was about to show y'all is you can actually set up different users right here. You can set up like policies. You can set up your launch screen, which is really nice. So I haven't been on here in a little bit. I'm seeing if they changed anything since they did their update. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share this last piece with y'all. Anyways, I hope this little archive that I made might help some of y'all and may not. Um, that being said, oh, there's one thing I want to add just to be sure. Okay, I have these notes here. So this is the original hash it gave me. I don't care showing y'all because it won't work anymore. I deleted it. So if y'all try to hack me or whatever, this ain't gonna work. That password's not useful anymore. But updating, this is the key thing right here. I wanted to make sure I notate this because sometimes I forget. So if you have Crafty and it says you have an update, you need to go back in the terminal. You need to pause it. You need to go to its directory. Then you need to switch users to Crafty, which, I should already be in. And then you want to update it. And then you want to CD back to your main directory and start it again. It's pretty simple, easy, but you got to know the commands. Actually, I think this one is kind of not relevant unless you're in root, but you need to switch over to whichever one you installed it on, which for me it's Crafty. So anyways, yeah, that's about it, guys. Back to what I was saying, I hope you enjoyed this little archive I made, and I'll see y'all in the next one.